Hello there. It was too cold to stay outside and it's raining. So I decided to come inside to do the rest of our lessons on Bird Week, where in our first lesson we're going to be looking at the book Owl Babies. However, before we do that, you get a bonus art lesson from me. Now, everybody who knows me will know I am a wonderful drawer and quite the artist. So I'm going to show you this morning, first of all, how to draw a very simple owl. Now, my owl will not look like this owl, but it will look a bit like an owl. And I'm going to show you how to do that now, because you're going to need it for our English lesson. So, you'll need a piece of paper, A4 size, and landscape. And in the middle of our paper, we're going to draw an owl. So, start with a nice big letter U, like that. Easy peasy. Now we're going to give him some little ears, like this. And then we're going to draw the top of his head, like that. We're going to give him some wings here. There we are, and some on this side. That one's not very even. Hang on, let's do that one again. There we go. We're going to give him some little feet. There we are. We're going to give him some eyes. And we're going to give him a little nose like that. That's quite creepy, so I think I'm just going to put... There we are, now he's quite friendly. Excellent. So, now we have our owl. So that's the first part of our lesson. You can colour it in and make it look all fancy pants, but we want one of these in the middle of your page like this. Pause. Right then, so with owl drawn, let's turn our attention to this week's activity. Now, you may have noticed when you listen to the story that there's a lot of speech in the story. Percy and Sarah and Billy and Bill, they all speak in the story. And when they're talking, you will spot what sometimes we call speech marks or inverted commas around what they are saying. You can see Bill says, and the speech mark starts just here, the inverted comma says, "I want my mummy," and then it closes at the end. So that's what they said. And either side, you've got, surrounding it, those inverted commas or speech marks. Now, throughout the story, all the different characters speak. They have lots of things to say, like, "She'll bring us mice and things that are nice. I suppose so. I want my mummy. She'll be back soon. I want my mummy." Get the idea. Lots of speech in the story. But in this story, every time one of the characters speaks, it always has the word said. "Suppose she got lost," said Sarah. "Or a fox got her," said Percy. "I want my mummy," said Bill. Now, what we'd like you to do today is to choose some of the things that the different characters say. So you can have a listen back to the story and pick out some of the sentences that each of the characters say. And what we'd like you to do is to change that said word from the word said into a different one, into something perhaps a little bit more descriptive. Now, before you do this, you might want to have a think of as many different words that you can that you could use instead of said. So, for instance, you could have shouted, mumbled, cried, screamed, screeched, wailed. Have a think of as many different ones as you can. Some of them might be loud, some of them might be quiet, some of them might be happy, some of them might be sad. So have a think about that before you get started. And then, here, prepared earlier, is our owl. Around your owl, you are going to write some of those sentences and try and fill the space around your owl with some sentences by the characters in the story. But this time, instead of the word said, you will use a different speech word. So up the top here, I've put here, I want my mummy, wailed Bill. And that tells you a little bit more about the way he said it. I've got here, what if she doesn't come back? Cried Percy. So you can see he's crying it. He's not just saying it. It gives you a little bit more information about how the character was speaking. I've got a couple of others here. Perhaps you can have a think what you might have. I suppose so. We use instead of said there. I suppose so. I knew it. So have a think about those. That might be some to start off with. And then for the rest of the activity, you can go through and choose some sentences of your own and write them up with some different said words. Try and use a different word for each sentence. So don't use shouted, 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 shouted. And try and choose ones that make sense, that fit with the way the character should be speaking at that moment. Maybe they're happy when they see their mum, but sad at other times during the story. So, alternatives for said. Off you